David Zammit, aka Diz, and this is The Force Always. Okay, welcome to the show. This is The Force Always, coming from Miami Beach. Man, this place is one sunburnt, palm tree plague type of place. But anyway, let's get into the Star Wars news. As I know at this point, the big talk about what come out of Star Wars Celebration was why did Ewan McGregor did not show. I can really answer that. All I could sort of come up with is possibly D23 could be appearing at D23 with the release of maybe some information about the young Han Solo film, as well as the Kenobi possible film that will be the third one in the Star Wars series. Also coming out of Star Wars Celebration, there was no show for Adam Driver either, which was interesting. He would be on location, I would say. That was the only other no show, but the big talk was Ewan McGregor. There has been, to more news, there's been great reaction for Star Wars Celebration, from what I can tell, from Orlando to Miami. Great reaction. I can tell you that personally, it was a great show for this small amount of information and showtime that I got to see. Each show, for example, the 40th anniversary panel took me 19 hours to get into. I was sleeping on a cold concrete floor, not for 19 hours, but just waiting around with the crew that I was rocking with. And also for the Last Jedi panel, it took me 19 hours-ish as well, on a cold concrete floor. I got a bit of cold out of it, but the crew I was with, I was really happy with. They were fantastic people. Great to sort of talk Star Wars for almost a day on a concrete floor, but you really did need thick skin to rock that. But at the end of that, there was a great light at the end of the tunnel. It was, seeing The Last Jedi was fantastic, and that's the trailer and The Last Jedi panel, and also seeing the 40th anniversary, especially with John Williams. That was truly amazing. They were both well worth it. I know it sounds a bit unusual to be there for 19 hours, but we did it. To more Star Wars news. So D23 is the next event. That's going to be happening in about 10 weeks' time. They could sort of provide us some more information about some Star Wars up-and-coming things. So anyway, from Miami, keep rocking. Okay, still in Miami. This is the view section of The Force Always. I thought I'd actually speak about this viewpoint on the beach. That's Miami Beach. I thought that would be interesting. It's to do with the poster. If you look at the Last Jedi poster, the official poster that was handed out at the Last Jedi panel, which I have a copy of, and might I add, a signed one by Mark Hamill. The poster, to me, this is not a prediction. This is something that I'd like to read into and create the story idea, because Viewpoints is not about predictions. It's about story ideas that I have. Now, in the poster, it's got Rey at the bottom with the lightsaber turned from blue into red, with Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren at the top. It'd be great to see in this film, The Last Jedi, from what I can read into the actual poster, that Rey would be the middle party, and Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren will be, at odds with each other, succumbing to the anger. That's why they're sort of coloured in red. I think that would be, who would break first. We all know that Luke Skywalker is pretty strong. We've seen Kylo Ren sort of strut his stuff, but not hardcore yet. But I'd like to see Rey be the new sort of balance to this whole Force thing, sort of bringing the two together maybe, or sort of having them, really push out the dark side from each other to each other. It's just sort of, the poster is a very interesting poster. I thought it was very striking, sort of classic, and unlike a bit like a regular Star Wars poster, I thought, but I really liked it, and I loved how they presented it at the Last Jedi panel. So I'd like to see, again, just Rey be the middle ground, Luke and Kylo being at odds with each other, and having Rey being the middle party, bringing them together, finally bringing, freedom, positivity to the galaxy. Anyway, that's my viewpoint this time around from Miami Beach. Okay, welcome to the reviews part of The Force Awakens. This is Ocean Drive behind me. One crazy party street, let me tell you. But anyway, the reviews this time around is going to be about The Last Jedi official trailer, which I saw live in the Last Jedi panel at Star Wars Celebration 2017. I tell you, it was so funny. I was choking with emotion. I couldn't speak. That's why he got me briefly during one of my Star Wars Celebration 2017 videos. And I did say 10 out of 10, and I do believe it's still 10 out of 10. I've looked at it a couple of times, and every time I see that trailer, it's going to just bring me back to this point. But I thought the whole trailer had a really poetic feel. It had a really nice slow build, and I just thought it was just handled well with the main characters we need to know straight away again, which is Rey, Finn and Poe. Poe was very minimal, but it was, an introduction of that. It was good not to see Snoke and anything of the dark side really, because I think that's going to be sort of the sell point to afterwards. Anyway, I do think the trailer, if there's anything that it lacked, look, when I viewed it, I watched it on the Galaxy stage, not the Celebration stage, which is actually, when I compared the two stages, the sound was much better in Galaxy stage. It was thunderous, but in Celebration stage, it was a much better visual experience, especially with the audience. So I'm a bit sort of lost to words why they sort of put it in the Galaxy stage than the Celebration stage. But it was a fairly sizable screen in the Galaxy stage, but the visuals really did come across clear, simple, and just flowed slowly but surely with a poetic feel. And so I still give it 10 out of 10. There's nothing more, nothing less you could do with that, and especially the very last words, to the end, Luke Skywalker saying, the Last Jedi to end, on those lines of words anyway. It was very emotional, cutting, I tell you. It was said that, I think that's the point why I like it. But it was an absolute honour to be in that panel, and it was an absolute honour to see that trailer firsthand at the very first moment it dropped. So 10 out of 10 for The Last Jedi trailer. So this is the review section for this time around. The Force Awakens, coming from Miami Ocean Drive. Let me tell you the whole experience of Star Wars Celebration 2017 in Orlando. Overall, it was amazing, fantastic. The panels, perfect. 40th anniversary panel was perfect with the extra John Williams live that was unexpected and amazing. It was dealt with perfectly as well. I thought that was great. The Last Jedi panel, which was the next day, it was again perfect with just the amazing trailer that I thought was 10 out of 10. I nearly actually lost it. I think the lack of sleep or the actual trailer was a 10 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic, and with all the stars being there, and it was the most anticipated with the people there, and for me as well. Seeing Daisy Ridley, seeing Mark Hamill there, which I've seen now a couple of times, from the plane to getting an autograph and getting a photo and stuff like that.
He's a really nice man. I know it's unusual to sort of come across with celebrities, but he's a very, very giving person, very friendly person. People around him are pretty hardcore, sort of trying to back people off, but his spirit really does shine through. Getting back to Orlando, the next day I was pretty busy in obtaining some autographs and things like that I pre-organized, so that was it took up the whole day, just working around that at particular times, and on the fourth day, the last day, which this video is all about, the last day and overall sort of feel of Star Wars Celebration. I went to see Mark Hamill himself, and that was a really nice, casual type of show. And he really has a casual elegance, and he probably has said pieces of information numbers of time over and over, but he does really come off entertaining, even in the small moments. There was a point where I think his dogs or his friends' dogs come on stage, and they sort of took a little bit of the limelight from him, but it was funny and it was spontaneous, it was real, it was great. So also I went to the closing ceremony, and that was really good. It was, I was wishing for an announcement of some sort. They didn't even announce the next celebration, so that's a bit in limbo. I was wishing they were going to at least give a name or a poster or something like this, more to a name for the young Han Solo film. Just some sort of sneak peek or something. Nothing was said. It was just dealt with in a proper fashion. It was extra large. I sort of got to see the little guy, the guy that plays Wicket. He went right past me in the aisle. I thought that was fantastic, on one of those crazy standing up wheel things, electronic. They're crazy. I've seen them all weekend. I wish I had one of those. Man, I got to get me one of those. But so really, the whole experience is definitely worth it. It's great, but one thing you really need: thick skin. The lines are enormous, they're horrendous, and they're unorganized. I think this is the biggest part of the negativity I'll say about Star Wars Celebration, is the unorganized fashion. It was causing an unfairness to people who got there early, things like that. I got to a line at 4:30 in the afternoon for a panel that was meant to start at 11 AM the next day. I think I was in about 350th position, maybe something like that. I ended up being about 400th because of the way that the lines move and the distance they have to move. It was just too much. It could have been organised better. I don't know why that was the case, but yeah. But you really need to look, if you're going to advertise, the 8 p.m. time is when the sleepover begins for the 11 a.m. the next day panel, then you've got to know that a Star Wars fan will up the ante big time. So that's why I actually got there at 4:30, thinking that I was going to be number 5 or something like this. But man, they are hardcore, these Star Wars fans. And, that's great to them, great to me. That's how it is. But the structure of the lines were just continuously being, undermined by other people. Luckily, I have enough, strong will to keep rocking and to sort of take a stand with certain people, just being fair. But it's the only negative part. But it also does take away from the experience from Celebration, because I was unable to do a lot in the times that I was actually just sitting here waiting. I waited till 11 AM for these panels. So so think of it this way: I start 4:30 p.m. the day before. This is the day before celebration started. I waited up until 11 a.m., saw the show, and then right after the show I had only a small amount of time just to have a look at the exhibit floor. Quickly showered, came back, started 4:30 again. No time to sleep, no time to really eat or drink, sufficiently, I suppose. And so I started 4:30 again, waited up until 11 a.m., watched the show, the next show, finished at 12:30, and by that time, oh my God, I was wrecked at that point, but my adrenaline just kept me going. Was able to do some more things, check the exhibit floor a bit longer, and do some things that I knew that if I did not pre-plan ahead, I just would not been able to get them done. But so then after that panel, I think I went back again to refresh. I had about 2 hours sleeping in my bed first time, and went back to the a line. It was not a sleepover line, but I knew if I didn't get there early, it would be another issue. I got there back at say 3 a.m. in the morning, I think it was, and there was a massive line at that point. This was just to get into the shop. The line to get into the shop was just horrendous as well, just the shop. Because I had sort of a lot of things to do that day, I bought, and so then I thought, well, I'll go on to the shop on the last day. So on the last day, lined up again early in the morning, was quite ahead, got into 2 panels. That was the Mark Hamill one, that was also the closing ceremony. But just before I had a chance, I think the first thing I did on that day was go to the shop. It was at least a 2-hour line on the last day, and when I got in the shop, things had been sold. A lot of things had been sold. There was not a whole lot in there. I just wanted to see what was in there. The range that was there was good, but it'd been sold. There was a lot of things, like the Last Jedi t-shirt gone. I was able to get the old Star Wars Celebration t-shirt. That was one thing I would like to get. And but the shop was a bit overrated. There was much more on the exhibit floor. Whole lot of interesting, funky stuff there. I did get a chance to check it out as much as I could. But the fatigue I had, man, it was hard. So again, you really do need thick skin when coming to a Star Wars Celebration. But if you can just push yourself through, get yourself into those panels, get into the exhibit floor, and just sort of see what you can in a small bit of time, you'll have amazing moments. I'll tell you, it's definitely worth it, especially being a Star Wars fan. Anyway, that's pretty much my review. I'm going to give you a rating. I give the whole Star Wars Celebration about a 9 out of 10. That's for the amazement that I got out of it. A 9 to even 9.5 out of 10. Where it lacks the particular announcements that I was after. But when it comes to the organisation, I'd give it about a 2 out of 10. But overall, the whole experience, let's average it out. I'm going to give it the overall experience an 8 out of 10. So there's a whole lot of out of 10s there, but so 9 for the amazing time that I had. The points where it become, greatness. That's the panels. That's the exhibit floor. That was a 9 out of 10. 2 out of 10 for the organisation of lines, things like that, and 8 out of 10 for the whole general experience of Star Wars Celebration. I definitely would come back if I can. Just depends where and when, which has not been announced. Anyway, until next time, as I say, from Orlando this time, keep rocking.
Okay, this is Melissa, and she works at Hooters in Orlando. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yes.
I drive.
Excellent. I drive.
Yep.
Excellent. Now, what do you know of Star Wars?
I've never actually seen it.
Never seen
No,
it.
I'm
Oh.
terrible. I know.
So, if you're not into Star Wars, what type of films are you into?
Romantic comedies. Yep.
Romantic comedies. Give
Yeah.
me an example.
Oh goodness, I don't know. Don't put me on the spot.
Like what's his name? Hugh Jack? No. Hugh Grant. Anything with Hugh Grant?
Sure. I don't.
Yes. Now listen, we've been so close to the convention centre.
Yes.
Have you had a lot of Star Wars fans?
I've had a few. Yeah.
You?
Mhm.
And
Not too many, but a few.
How do you find them? Quite weird or just normal? What do you
Normal.
reckon?
Oh yeah, normal. Awesome people.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And tell me, so why is it that you've never seen Star Wars? Is it time or is it just no desire for it?
Both. Definitely both. Yeah.
Right.
Just never had. I'm not really a movie person. I don't really watch too many movies, and I just never took interest in it. My brothers were all interested in that, and they loved that stuff, but I never did.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Just wanted to ask you a couple of questions, that's all, about what you thought of Star Wars. But
No problem.
thank you very much. And as they say in Star Wars, may the Force be with you.